GM, man. Happy Tuesday. How was everyone's Labor Day weekend?
Bro, actually, I remembered what I did yesterday. I did a Binance space yesterday.
Yo,
Bellscoin, yeah, we did another. They had us on again, man. People were like, "Why isn't Bellscoin pumping?" I'm like, "Because nobody wants to buy Bellscoin, bro." It's like, why isn't it working? I don't know why. Because it's not, it is what it is. But we had a great space. Actually, they get a ton of people on their, like, what do they call it, Binance Square or something? Because you must get some like token or something. You get some like doohickey for showing up, bro. They get thousands of people in those spaces. Everybody bombing there. Follow me, follow me, follow me. It's like a little social media channel in there, man. So anyway, that was fun.
It's like my Telegram DMs, dude. Going in there in the archive is terrifying. It's like 50 messages of people trying to sell me stickers, or people trying to sell KOL services, or trying to sell whatever. They want to ask you if they should buy your token. Is it token pumping? It's just like it never ends,
bro. Is it an instant? Do you just auto block literally everybody who DMs me, unless it's specifically somebody I know who's DMing me? I auto block everybody. Are you on that mode?
No.
You're on open mode?
Yeah.
I have all of the non contacts that are moved to like this archive folder, so I don't even have to see it. It was bad for a while. Till I figured that out.
My Twitter's been buggy. I think that I'm the only one though, but mine's been a mess for like a week.
Oh, really? What are you seeing?
It just keeps on like not loading. It'll say like privacy permissions are removed and stuff. Really? And like it's kind of weird. I try to reset my computer and everything, but I think it's only me. So technical difficulties. Did
you do anything for Labor Day?
I just chilled. Went to like Palm Tree on Sunday. That was fun.
Oh, you didn't go see the final Ibiza Boss?
No, dude. The boys wanted to, but we saw some funny pictures, man.
Wait, how much was that to go see that dude? Did you get like do you get an autograph with that, or like you just get a picture? What was
he's just that fool's just on stage,
just walking around. Yeah, they said like him and his crew were just like super sloppy, just getting like really drunk and spilling stuff all over the place.
Wait, he has a crew?
Yeah, they have like similar haircuts to him and stuff.
That's fucking awesome.
Extremely funny, bro.
Gotta love that. I did go to the Sphere for my first time.
Yeah,
finally on Friday.
Did you go to Alice in Wonderland or whatever I was seeing over there? I saw.
Yeah, it was. So I didn't go Wizard of Oz. So
Wizard of Oz. That's right. Yeah.
No, I went to an event called Unity. So it's like the company who does EDC and the company who does Tomorrowland through an event. It's kind of just like a 3-hour concert, which was cool. That was my first time there.
Cool.
Finally, they finally had something that was not just old white people music. That was more my style.
Wait, so tell us how much were the tickets to that thing?
So the tickets were originally selling for $250. I bought them for $60 the day of. Wow. Yeah, Vegas is hurting for tourism right now. Right here. Yep. The local casinos are fine, and downtown seems to be fine every time I go. But the Strip is kind of hit and miss. Some places are busy, but it's not as busy as it usually is.
What does a locals casino mean? That means people who actually live there and gamble. They go.
Yeah.
By local.
I was
casino?
trying to take you to one of those when you're here. Yeah, like Durango Station, Red Rock. There's literally like probably 10, 15 casinos like just outside of the strip in downtown that are like the local entertainment centers for adults.
Yeah. Why do I need to go to a casino though? Right. Literally, I have one on my computer and my phone 24/7. Literally. I mean, all I'm seeing, obviously people are trying to push the, prediction market. Obviously, there's some huge interest in this meta, and I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But it's like, why would I go anywhere? Actually, people were pushing back on Polymarket just today. I saw, was it Clemente or one of those guys was saying like, hey man, this is wrong. I just got fucking robbed on what was obviously true, got voted as not true. It was like, will Saylor buy more Bitcoin in August? And it happened. And they were like, no, didn't happen. You lose, so I don't know. There's getting some push. I mean, that's not the first time we've seen that pushback on Polymarket. I don't know what the fix is for it.
I saw that like DraftKings is also creating a prediction market. There's been a lot of hype and interest on prediction markets on the timeline over the last few weeks, but I saw a chart and I was looking at Dune dashboard and the volumes were like pretty much the same. So I think it's just like there's increased competition now. Yep. So people and a lot in probably Kalshi, which is off chain too.
Yeah, the volumes were the same as like what, just normal for Polymarket?
Yeah, it was like they've been kind of flat for last like since election pretty much.
Because I saw like there was like 780 million wagered on Kalshi for the UNC game. UNC TCU college football game, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think Kalshi volume's apparently doing well, I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah. Polymarket. Right. That's the off-chain versus on-chain kind of prediction market debate. I think the interest with like Polymarket was that there's a lot of companies that are building on top of Polymarket now. There's like that parlay. There's like a parlay platform. And I saw like a handful of other things that are using like prediction market tickets. Somebody was creating like some sort of perps derivative thing with like prediction with like Polymarket shares of different prediction markets. So I think people were really just kind of experimenting. So the 9 says that was daily volume, not for the UNC game itself. That was just for in general. It's still 780 million.
Is it going to take
still a lot?
Do they take lower fees than like DraftKings? So if I want to bet, I've heard, and this, I don't know what it's called, like the line when you're just picking a winner, whatever that's called on a football game, right? Is Polymarket like significantly less expensive to do that than like DraftKings? Like, is there any advantage for using Polymarket for that sort of thing?
I would say, I mean, it's just Polymarket's on chain, right? So there's no quote unquote KYC if you win over $1,200, right? Yeah. For in the betting world, if you win over $1,200, then that has to be put on taxes. Obviously, with Polymarket, you could still be tracked, but there's some obscurity there. I think what makes it attractive for some people. And I think with Polymarket, it's just easier to spin up your own markets. You can't do that with Kalshi, right? Kalshi is pretty much curating the entire experience. Whereas on Polymarket, they have all these different partnerships and stuff. So, but as we know, decentralized systems take much longer to scale than central systems. But I guess the question is, do the traditional sports books like Caesars and MGM and such, do they get into the prediction market world, or do they just stay at put? One thing with like prediction markets, I find it a lot easier to bet, right? Because they don't have they don't have run lines and they don't have, favorites and underdogs. It's just basically like this has a 75% chance to win, right? It's kind of more straightforward to win.
Yeah, it's just binary, win or lose. No, it's not like a perp market where you have to pay margin or any rates to borrow the money to kind of take your side. You just pick a side. It's binary. You win or you lose. Makes it easier.
Does Polymarket take like a percentage of each time you trade?
Yeah, I believe so. Okay. I don't know what the fee is there, but there's definitely a fee.
Did you guys track that pigskin thing this weekend?
What is it?
I
So
saw it.
pig-
But I didn't look at it.
Yeah, Pigskin was a basically somebody, the person who did the football trading card type thing. It was going to be similar to that. And so you would go and you buy, and then they give you, I mean, it was more like tokenized. So each player, like Mahomes, had, a bunch of tokens associated with him. And you'd go and buy and you'd rip a pack and you get your guys, whatever you get. And yeah, it rolls out. And then people are like, bro, the Jets logo's not right. The fucking, this is some of the images were wrong and all this sort of stuff. So they got a bunch of pushback. And they actually refunded everybody's money stunningly. Supposedly are backed by some VC firm, which I don't know. I took that as it's probably not true anyway. But yeah, they said rather than roll it out half-ass, we're just going to let everybody go back and claim your money back, which was kind of a big deal. They got a lot of love on the timeline. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually still roll this out before the season starts. I think they'll have I think it'll be pretty popular because there was a lot of love being given to them on the timeline. So heads up on that.
Pigskin. I'll have to look.
I mean, I talked to guys. I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer to me. Like, how is somebody not spun up a, fantasy football style game? It just makes sense. And honestly, I'm stunned there aren't more of these rolling into this season, but here we are. Stunned.
Here we absolutely are. Well, you know what was like a big, maybe the biggest thing that happened over the weekend, which was yesterday, the USD1 launched, which is the president's stablecoin ecosystem. I saw a lot of speculation around the bonk ecosystem, around Hustle and Migrate Fund. I was still trying to figure out kind of what was all really going on here.
The fuck is it, bro?
Right. Well, World Liberty Fi, remember initially it was supposed to be non-transferable, and then all of a sudden it became transferable. And then they launched the token, but then they also rolled out the stablecoin at the same time. That was kind of interesting. Their strategy as they partnered with a bunch of Solana protocols as well as Ethereum and BNB. And what they did here, which I thought was kind of interesting, was that they created a USD1 USDC pool with Radium. And then that's how people were going to go get their USD1. And then, so Sol USD1 had 32 million in volume yesterday. And World Liberty Fi USD1 had about $33 million in volume. And so USD1 USDC had 110 million in volume. So you're saying, $110 million or, smaller fraction of that was used to go acquire USD1 on Solana. Are we bullish or bearish on the president's stablecoin? And also, what type of speculation do you think USD1 plus Bonk Fund could be? Obviously, we're working with them with Migrate Fund, but they haven't told us anything. Probably rightfully so, to be honest. So, kind of interested to see, from all angles, what this actually means. Are people going to use it, USD1? Are they going to use it to speculate? Are they just using it for attention games? But Adam, I'll present this to you first. When you first look at everything that's happened over the last few days, World Liberty Fi is down quite bad it was a $32 billion FDV when it came out, which was kind of wild. I think now it's down to, I'll pull it up here in a second. It's down to it's a $78 million market cap. Is that right here? 24,000 holders, $78 million. Damn, that must be a pretty big drop. If that's
Is that right? No,
I don't know if that's right. But Adam, what do you think about it all so far?
I just think it's confusing, which is good for the people who are selling. I think, it's just, you create something where supposedly there were only a certain number of tokens going to unlock, but then it turned out to be many times more than that. And, is it a governance token? What is it? I do think this company is going to have significant legs. And I do think that, USD1 will be something. like for everything we've talked about with stable coins, there's not a whole lot of new stable coins turning into the market. This is one of the kind of first ones. It's got a big, name behind it. And I like the name USD1. It's a good name. And so can this be a legit stable coin? Sure. It's got chance. So, but I don't know how that revenue pushes back to the original company, who knows? That's all a Fugazi.
They announced that they're doing 100% buybacks, or at least that's that was their first proposal to the World Liberty Fi DAO.
Right. Yeah. Well, this one, it gets into this strange thing where I also heard that the DAO is now voting, to unlock all the tokens earlier too. Right. So we all have had experience with DAOs. DAOs are a retarded nightmare. So God help them with that DAO shit. But Trump and them, they own what, 25% of this thing. So I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it'll make them a shit ton of money. They will figure out ways to manipulate this thing to infinity. And they'll make it a shit ton of money, but whether or not, USD1 can be a competitor in the stablecoin market, it's possible. It's just they've got to get integrated everywhere. It's got to be accepted everywhere, do everything with it. It has to be that. The Ethereum, I don't know if you guys saw the Ethereum fees went fucking bonkers yesterday as people were trying to cash out their, free up their tokens. It was literally, I was working with a guy who was trying to do some stuff, and it was like, bro, gas was at, 62 or something like that, some crazy number yesterday. So,
and remember the days when it was at 200 Gwei. Chris, what's your take on World Liberty Fi?
Ooh, anytime there's like a big launch like this, my phone rings a lot. People are like, should they get in? So it took a lot of calls over the weekend of what do I think about World Liberty Fi? People that are kind of like barely in crypto or a little bit external to crypto, they always think, oh, this is going to be a huge thing. But they had the original pre-sale, and then they opened up the pre-sale again to allow a much bigger allocation. And anytime that happens, I'm just extremely bearish, just because you're reducing the buy pressure from the secondary market. You're allowing so many more people to get in than you initially thought. So I was super bearish on it. I don't really pay much attention to what they're doing. It's just hard for me to get behind these companies that aren't really crypto native, trying to build crypto native products. So I don't really care about it too much. That's my thoughts.
The president's token, man. I thought whoever they're partnered with, they're the two guys that are not the Trump family, or I forget what the other family is.
I think one of them was I don't know. They're not, I don't know, the most prestigious of.
Yeah. They definitely know what they're doing, though, at least from a rollout strategy. I thought the rollout strategy was kind of interesting for the stable coin, right? It's I'm sure what they did here is they took the pre-sale money and they put it inside of the treasury, and then they used that as the backing for the USD1, and they rolled it out in kind of an on-chain way, which I thought was kind of cool, with doing the USDC USD1 pair to try to it seems like they're really trying to target the crypto natives on this. They're not even going anything close to just the traditionalists. Maybe the Trump family will, from traditional finance, but the rollout strategy is literally going straight after the crypto degens, because they announced the partnership with Bonk Fund, right? And launch and meme coins and kind of, ICM markets and all these different things, which I thought was interesting. It just tells me we're entering this world of social stable coins, or celebrity coins, but they're going to the next level, right? We saw the whole celebrity coin meta, where literally every single celebrity coin went up a bunch and it went down a lot even more. I think the Trump coin was one of few that held any sort of value still. And now, but Trump's basically using his name to brand is basically, it's the Trump digital dollar, right? Is kind of what it is. Does that have value there? I mean, Trump's done really well putting his name across a lot of things. Will it do well for a stable coin? Maybe. I don't know if they'll eat into USDC's market share or Tether's, but for an on-chain, if they're just going to target the on-chain people and they want to target speculation, fuck it, you could be like the speculative stable coin. I mean, it doesn't really mean much of a difference between that and USDC technically, but maybe there's something there. I put a post out yesterday and said, you're mixing like the people's meme coin, which that's what they call bonk, right, on Solana, and you're then integrating, I guess you'd say the president's money, right, which I think that's rife for speculation. And somebody underneath said this is rife for extraction. So yeah. Probably a component of that as well. But I don't know. Got to see it play out. But I thought the rollout strategy was kind of smart. Obviously, the World Liberty Fi token just fell off a cliff. But also, when you're launching at a $35 billion valuation, like what
makes no sense.
What were we going to expect?
Literally no sense. It makes no sense. And people are waking up. People are understanding this makes no sense. I think the big winners yesterday were bonk. Like, this is huge for them, huge for that team to be able to like negotiate that and figure that out. Like, that's honestly, you got to give them props. It's fucking incredible, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. That's what I was trying to think of, like what it actually means, right? Like I think Tom, he's not the lead on Bonk Fund anymore. Cadence is now, but Tom had come out and said that they were going to share at a later date what the USD speculation is. I guess, my thought would be like they're doing USD1 pools, I guess, stable coin, like maybe you could launch USD1 meme coin, through your launchpad, or maybe they integrate it into the ICM market. I have been seeing them pitch a lot and market a lot about ICM, which we told them as well. I thought ICM on Bonk's probably going to be pretty big because the majority of the teams migrating with us are teams that are migrating to the ICM markets on Bonk Fund, which is essentially just like non-meme coins or tech. So maybe they could do something like USD1, ICM pools. Maybe that's like a little bit more professional than like a meme coin, since you're trying to like socially categorize it, but not really too sure, to be honest. So it is a big win for them. I mean, they still have a gigantic obstacle to overcome, which is Pump Fund, but I think they're setting up themselves to be the kind of number 2 launchpad here. Yeah. Beating out basically the other main competitors. Their main competitor, I guess, is Believe outside of Pump Fund, but right now Believe in Bags and kind of this like cohort of Meteora launchpads that keep popping up. I guess there's like Slurf now, and we've talked with a handful of other ones that was not familiar with until the time of our conversation. And I think this just means either with this partnership, like Bonk just accelerates past everyone and they just try to go straight for competing with Pump Fund, or I don't know, maybe USD1 comes out and partners with everyone else. Who really knows in this space? But it will be exciting to see. What I always find really funny is when a competitor comes out with like a major announcement, the next day the competitor comes out with like something to like try to take the mind share away. So Pump Fund announced literally like an hour ago, Pump Fund Ascend. It's a series of updates that gives 10x more earnings to the creators through something called dynamic fees and 10x faster processing of CTO creator fee applications. Do you think they accelerated this because maybe they're afraid that they have a lot of projects leaving and they're trying to keep them? They come on to say that the problem is that running a startup, viral marketing campaigns, and the exchange listings are expensive. The creator fee does not move the needle. However, raising fees across the board come at the direct expense of traders and can hurt the coin's ability to grow. So they have something called dynamic fees. Dynamic fees are a brand new tiered creator fee structure exclusive to PumpSwap, specifically designed for acceleration and longevity. And the creator fees are tiered by the market cap. So meaning the higher the market cap of the coin, the lower the creator fee. And the fee structure applies to all PumpSwap coins. So they come in here and show kind of like what a creator has earned with like their potential using this new dynamic fee model. What do you guys think of Pump Fund coming out the next day with something to try to keep your creators while Bonk Fund comes out and partners with the President's Project?
Like Chris said, it's just the beginning of the Launchpad wars, right? It's going to be, this is what's happening, right? And so who's going to match this? I mean, look, it's going to be a race to creators get all the fees. You know, we had a call earlier today with a Launchpad that's literally 100% of fees go to the creators. So this is happening, right? How does that Launchpad stay in business? You got to get creative. I don't know exactly, right? But you know, this is the way it's going. And we've seen in crypto, fees get driven down to near zero. And so we'll see how it goes here. I mean, I think it's wise that, hey, fees on big meme coins go lower, so to encourage more trading. But obviously they were handpicking there these teams that made, you know, in theory, millions of dollars. It's funny though, because I know that top one, who I've gotten some back and forth, you know, spats on Twitter with, has basically made no money, hasn't even made any money. That's like hypothetical, what they could make going forward. But up until now, hasn't made anything really.
Right.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, the call we had earlier today with a Launchpad. They take some of their idle, they said they take the idle base token. I'm not going to say like which one it is, but they say they take the idle native currency and then they put it into Aave, and that's how they generate their profit, is through the yields. That's how they're able to get profits back to the creators, which I thought was kind of unique. It's like a rehypothecation. Now, what classifies, you know, the idle native currencies in these pools,
bro? And what could go wrong with that system, bro?
Right?
I'm just like, man, I don't know, man. That to me, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad system, and maybe you have systems in place that protect yourself and the users and stuff, but there's just a lot that could go wrong there.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's a win for users. It's a win for creators that are making more money. It's a win for like the ecosystem, that not all the money is going to Pump Fund's bank account any longer. So the trend is in the right direction, but more teams are going to migrate regardless. So we'll have to see what happens.
So how are we feeling about migrations here? There's a lot of hype.
Migration's looking good here.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype over the weekend about people speculating on projects migrating, right? The amount of liquidity it's going to be made, how much tokens are going to be purchased, what's our involvement with USD1 and Bonk, right? It's funny to see kind of all the speculation continue to grow and grow and grow, at the point where it's just like, I kind of understand now where creators kind of get lost in speculation. It's like tough to manage a lot of it, right? Like if there's anything that's like outright wrong, then I'll definitely comment on it. But outside of that, you don't want to hurt people's speculation, right? Because it has an impact on the token, and then people get upset. And starting to get, every day I wake up now, anytime the hustle's down 5%, I get like 10 messages of people asking what's going wrong. It's like crazy. It's like it's like the first thing I have to do when I wake up now is look at the price, and then I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna have 5 DMs from these people who are fearful, and then when the token goes up, I'm gonna have messages from these people who are excited.
It was like I was on a space with Dave or whatever, and this was like the middle of last week, and hustle was at, I don't even know, 10 million or 8 million, wherever it was. He's like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, bro, are you new to crypto, bro? This is your first time, bro? What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck is going on. Is people are selling. That's what's going on. You know, it's like, it is what it is, dude. I like to think that these are based on anything other than speculation. Nah, it's not. It's all speculation.
It's all speculation. Yeah. You know, we're continuing to grind. It is officially migration season, right? A few weeks, we'll be off to the races. We'll have some more announcement then. The devs are still deving and the auditor is still auditing. Like, that's all I can really say at that point in time. We've informed all of the teams who are participating in the migration when their onboarding time is. So the teams know, and everyone else will find out once it's ready. You don't want to post it because people are just going to hold that to the date.
Oh,
I got one team today messaging us, and they're like, "Can you please do the migration sooner?" And I was like, "It's literally not possible. We've told you this." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna have to go find somewhere else."
Literally,
Okay.
that's the second team that's been like that too. Like, come at us hard. Like, bro, I don't know. You know, we need to go. I mean, literally, we need to go first. We need to be the first team. It's like, bro, how are we gonna pick? You're not the biggest team. Like, if I was gonna pick, I'd pick the biggest team, right? If I was going to have to pick a team to go first, I was like, are you gonna be happy being the sixth team? Does that sound good to you? I mean, it was just like, but people are people, man. You just gotta like kind of laugh it off, and you know,
Yeah, everyone's got to do what's in their best interest. But
I literally, who wrote this? Was this Arwen? Literally, I was like, bro, I think I might have used that quote. I was like, you know, everybody, there's gonna be one first, and everybody. It was like, I think I said, there's gonna be one happy team if we did it that way. One happy team and 19 pissed off teams that they didn't get to go first.
Well, there was somebody the other day was saying like, we need to go first, and then you need to do them one by one. I was like, that would take literally fucking half a year to do all of those. Like, don't you want an event where everyone is migrating at the same time, so that all of like people are looking at your token while they're like migrating the other ones? And that was the other team. It was like their whale was in the chat, and they were like, "No, this is bad for my bags." Essentially,
right? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, migration should be to benefit the team over the long term and not the short term. And Hustle was first, anyways. So Hustle was already through the door. First is actually first. You know, they should be really thinking the long term, not necessarily just the short term. If you're migrating your whole community just for like the short term bump of the migration, oof. I mean, there's nothing that we can do to help you. Like, you're kind of doomed from the start.
Well, we did have one team rug this last week.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And so, you know, I think, look, people will take advantage of any kind of hype scenario. And obviously these guys, you know, used us to kind of craft their own narrative for it, and then dumped a bunch of their, you know, sold out. That can happen, man. You know, so one guy asked me, well, what are you guys doing to prevent this? I was like, bro, we can't prevent this. There's no preventing any of this. Anybody can sell their
platform. Like they started a conversation with us. Like, how can we prevent anything?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Well, I do have the guy's first name and last name. So he's scheduled with us to do an onboarding. So I don't know if like maybe it was intentionally rugged the whole time, or they just got hot hands and like, hey, the price is up, let's sell or something. But his first and last name is on my scheduled books. So yeah, not a good idea. So if anyone wants that name because you were harmed by them, then you could just reach out to me. I'm not going to publicly post it, but could be a fake name too. But I mean, if that's the case where they're literally in our like migration chat with all the other teams, like pretty much every day posting and being hyped and showing stuff, like maybe that was a part of like an elaborate scam. I don't know. Right. They launched their I was looking at it. They had launched their token at like, I think it was like the end of July. So it's like, maybe they like saw the migration platform and then they launched a token and they're like, ooh, I could use this to like pretend to be a bonk team to migrate to bonk. And therefore I'm going to scam people before it gets close. Like it's entirely possible.
Yep.
Totally. It's tough to, you know, you can only vet for so many angles. I can't control their tokens or anything. So it's tough. It's unfortunate. I hope some people didn't lose too much money in that situation.
I don't think so, because this is what we got no pushback. Basically, nobody on the timeline talking about it. I mean, it feels like it was maybe a fugazi the whole time, you know, and they might have roped some people in to buy their stuff. You know, certainly there were people kind of tracking migrating teams and stuff, so I'm sure some people bought their tokens, but yeah, I don't think they had a huge community.
What's up, Lucas? Yeah, good to see you. Oh, actually, the one thing I do want to bring up was, let me see if I could find this. I thought this was really cool by the Banker team. Did you guys see this over the weekend? They announced Banker Earn, where you can basically deposit stable coins into Banker and it like does some sort of like yield optimization. So it makes you APY to some degree. So you can literally use them as a bank for your
How you earning
stablecoin.
yield on stable? How does that work?
Yeah, let me see if I could find it. I think it was OX Deployer who's the founder had put out the tweet about it. Let me see if I could find it. So this is the Hold USDC one. There was more. Oh, here it is. So Banker Earn. So when you enable Banker Earn, your USDC balance across supported chains is automatically deposited into the Banker Earn vault to generate yield. So we've been seeing this, right? There's a handful of AI products that are already doing this, where it's like you just deposit tokens into a vault, and then whatever algorithm bot AI thing is optimizing it to make yield on the back end. You can do this with AI. You can do this without AI as well. So it says it's always liquid. So USDC remains fully liquid, and you can still swap or transfer it at any time. I thought that was actually like the craziest thing. So it's like you take these coins and you're generating yield on it, but you could still actually swap with them at any time, right? So it's not like locked in a staking contract or something like that. So any new USDC added to your Banker wallet is automatically deposited into Banker Earn to start earning yield. You can turn off Banker Earn so that your USDC will be made available on Base. Oh, so you do have to turn it on or off. And then global USDC balance, even while deposited into Banker Earn, USDC is always available across chains. Whenever you make a transaction, Banker automatically pulls from your Banker Earn balance.
Is this just submitting it into the Coinbase Earn yield program for USDC?
You know, I was thinking that too, because they just got backed by Coinbase, and I was like, I wonder if they're using their Earn program in some capacity. It doesn't say though so far. They haven't put like the full details out on it.
That'd be my guess, is that it literally just swaps it directly into the Coinbase Earn yield platform.
That would make a lot of sense, right?
Where does the yield come from though, bro? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. Where's it coming from? Is it just coming from Coinbase revenue? They're just paying out this yield?
Paying out this yield. And they also collaborated with Manifold too for minting discounts, which I thought was kind of cool. But it makes you think like these AI products, you're going to have some sort of yield product of some sort of staking product, right? Or some way for people to deploy tokens and capital into your terminal so that people are using it in some capacity. Or maybe you just need it for the vanity metrics. I've also come to learn that a lot of these teams that are VC backed or have VC funding, they go through a lot of these kind of metric gymnastics where it's just like you're depositing tokens and you're moving funds around and you're getting people open accounts, but no one's actually using it, right? But for the VCs, that's all they need. That's what they need to then sell their private equity to somebody else, right?
Bro.
Or to get more people in on around so that their value goes up.
It's literally a pawn. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, that goes to my thesis on what's happening on Base right now anyway, which is like the whole creator coin thing is just a model to get more, more wallets, more transactions on the chain, but nobody's actually really like excited about it or using it. It's just a Ponzi to like drive value to Coinbase. And this would be a similar sort of Ponzi. Again, I ask, where is this yield coming from? Like, it's a stable coin. How are you getting a yield on a stable coin?
Where is it coming from?
Where's it coming from, bro? What do they say? If you don't know where the yield's coming from, you are the yield.
That's well, I mean, obviously there would be like these banks are earning some money. Like, you have a high yield savings account. The yield comes from maybe them loaning out the money elsewhere. So it gets a bit cloudy and opaque with where in the daisy chain the money is leaving to go make the yield, but it's obviously going somewhere, to your point, for sure. So they just don't.
It never went anywhere with Madoff, and I don't think it's going anywhere with Coinbase. I'll just be honest with you, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's going anywhere. I think it's sitting right there, and they're paying out with Fugazi dollars, right? Bitcoin stamps.
We have some ideas on how to do. We've been talking about doing our own vaulting product. Obviously, we still got to get there, but yeah, some cool kind of cross tokenomic ideas. to say the least. It is migration season. We are working on our EVM product as well as a few other products and announcements that'll hopefully come at this point this month. It'll be pretty exciting. We also launched subscriptions over the weekend.
Let's go.
Still have to put a post out from the timeline itself. Let me pull up my tweet.
We've learned that some guys do like 200 prompts a day. I'm like, bro, what are you doing with hustle over there? It's like it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy. So I think we have 31 subscriptions signed up since the launch, and this is like with no real kind of publications, and these are the real power users. So what that tells me is we have 30 power users that just like are basically using this thing every day, and they're paying for it either $50 or $150 or smaller. I think all of the elite tier, which is 150 in Soul, or you pay 30% discounts, $105 in Hustle. So all those people paid in Hustle. We have 10 elite and 20 pro memberships. So the elite tier gets 150 prompts per day, which is a lot. Like we're still running at a pretty big negative with that. But one of the reasons to do this is that we're going to be finally able to know our customers a little better, or our power users, and be able to track like the habits and the activities from a number standpoint, and to kind of figure out how to best scale this thing. There's like things called prompt caching, right? Which is getting the cost down, which is like what our number one focus is right now. But we weren't really able to do that until we really knew how many people were actually using this shit. Because you get a lot of people coming in when it was free and spamming it, asking it all kinds of random things. But these are legitimate power users. What are these subscriptions for? The subscriptions are for Agent Hustle to pay for, right? You have this is pretty standard, right? You pay for subscriptions for Grok or ChatGPT, or even Banker has a subscription, or Wayfinder. I think Heynon might be the only one that's free now. So this is kind of our own version of it. But with this, we have a more of a direct line of communication with our power users. Probably open up a chat at some point in time for the people who are subscribed. They help us test it, and helps us better scale. And then we can start offering different types of premium products around this, right? Like we have different ideas with memory and with Toolbox for the power users and not. And, it all comes down to kind of business operations, times, tokenomics, times, where the next kind of opportunity is. And it's a pretty big step forward. And to see the stats, there's one guy who uses 150 prompts a day. It's actually kind of wild. The thing is, I actually know who it is. And this is actually the guy who is not crypto native in any way. I don't even know how he found Hustle, but he doesn't even know how to use wallets or anything like that. He just uses Hustle to trade and to do his taxes and stuff like that. Like he uses it literally for everything.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. I mean, you just never know, right? You never know what people are going to do. You can lay out the best kind of strategy of the way you think it's going to go. But then if you're fortunate, you actually find that, actually our users really want it for this, and this is what they're really doing. And so it's fun to explore that. And just to give some context, like these things are super expensive to run. I've never been involved in a business that, where the tech was so costly, just at a base level, just to provide the technology. We've had, it can easily blow into $1,000 or more per day just for the, our access to these LLMs. So just to give people context on why we needed to kind of put caps on. I mean, we had it for free for 8 months, 100% of that cost. Just had to get some caps on. We want people to use it, and we're not even putting buffers on. Like if you want to do 10 free and then jump on another account and do another 10 free, we're not being hardcore about shutting this stuff down, because we want people to use them. It's just like putting some caps on, so we're not just getting buried, just to put a little context on it.
Yeah. So Bonkus says, is there documentation? No documentation yet. Honestly, really just go sign in with go to agenthustle.ai, sign in with your X account, and just start talking to them. Right? It's an AI terminal, so it allows you to trade and such. You get 10 free prompts per day. You could go sign in with Google afterwards if you wanted to try it, or pay for the pro. Give it a month and try it out. 150 prompts a day is a lot of fucking prompts. That's a lot. There's nobody even close to this guy. Like not even close. I think the highest I saw before that's about like 70 prompts for some of the other elite people.
And that's elite like trading and analytics and stuff. This guy's, I'm sure, just like, hey, what should I have for breakfast? Hustle.
Well, the one thing. So it's looking at like his prompts compared to some of the other ones. And what I'm noticing is the majority of the subscribers are a lot more sophisticated. So like the input is a lot higher or a lot better. So the people are putting in like 20, maybe you could say like 3-4 paragraphs sometimes at times, or 3-4 sentences, but it's very specific. Like this guy is responding like at most 10 words per response. And so with that, he then replies to me, and is frustrated because Hustle's not doing what he wants. And I keep trying to tell him, like, you have to be a lot more specific with the prompting. And it like doesn't really connect to him on like how to do that. So I think these barriers for now will actually make people better prompters, because you're going to have to figure out how to fit, 50 prompts in a day or 150 prompts in a day. And again, 150 prompts, thinking that each time he could take anywhere from 10 seconds to 2 minutes to respond, like you're spending like the majority of the day prompting.
I mean, I can't imagine I've ever done more on all my LLMs, more than 30. 50 would be like crazy. I don't even know when that would have happened. Maybe when I was doing some like sample coding, I did 50, but never, ever even approach that number. It's a crazy number.
But strong start for subscriptions. I think people are excited about it. Obviously, when we start rolling out more incentive programs, you're going to want to be on the subscription list. So definitely hop on there. And that's where all the best benefits, that's where all the best tooling is going to be released first. It's definitely going to be worth it to be a subscriber to Agent Hustle. So that's a good place to start.
It absolutely is. And I actually figured out, so recently we've been getting hit with a bunch of, I guess you'd say, Emblem posts, hustle posts, migration posts.
Yeah.
I tracked down.
Just so you go, this is not us. I don't know who's doing. My guess is, we've been guessing amongst the team. My guess is there's a whale who's like, paid for, some, KOL service. That's what my guess is.
Well, actually, so Cosmic Plebe basically put it out in a tweet. He said, if you have low reach, I advise you to talk about Agent Hustle, super active community and supportive founders.
Right.
Make good use of this opportunity. Good luck.
We are notorious for reposting people that like to talk about our products, because we like supporting our community that supports us. So
yeah. So glad that it's actually real people. I know a lot of some of these are, like Kaido farmers and NFTFi farmers and stuff like that, but there is an ARA tracker now for people to use and for people to speculate on some of the, announcements and some of the things that are to come. So
I saw that Bratoshi had a giveaway going. I think I posted it to the Jumbotron, but my Twitter is just so buggy I can't even see if there's anything on there. So
I'll see if I can see it.
Maybe mention that if you could see it.
Pin it up top.
Pin it up top. Did you guys see that Gavin Newsom said that he's going to launch a meme coin?
No, I didn't.
No, I saw maybe last week that he had mentioned Trump should have one, and it should be called like Trump scam coin or something like that.
Here, let me see what he says here.
And then
real prediction is, we're about to put a meme coin out, and you know what, Donald Trump, we'll see how well your coin does versus our coin.
Oh wow, that's legit.
There it is, straight from his mouth.
Gotta be AI generated, man. No way is that real, dude. That's no way is that real, bro. Straight to fucking zero, bro.
Honestly, this is better for all of us, because Most people hate the Trump family, that, you know, the way that they kind of got involved with crypto, and now he's like egging everyone else to get into the ecosystem the same way. Like, I don't know. It's a good place for adversaries to battle it out.
I'd say how funny would it be having the Gavin Newsom coin just denominated in USD1 trading?
No, I did see people were launching us, you know, because he made these comments. Obviously, this is like another one. He mentioned one, and people just made a bunch of coins around it. This was like a week ago, where it's like Trump scam coin, Trump's a scam, you know, some stuff like that. No, I would call it Trump scam coin or whatever. And so a bunch of coins launched, but I didn't know he was actually going to do it. This is actually like crazy.
Wild.
Absolutely wildness. Just, I mean, what are Chris, you buying this thing, man? I mean, of course you might try to snipe it, but there's no way you buy
That's Satoshi's vision, man. That's this is what he wanted us to be doing.
Scam coins all together. Over the weekend, did you guys see all of these hustle PFPs that were popping up?
I was going to say, is that just Bratoshi making these, or is this somebody actually built a hustle maker?
So Bratoshi made his, and he's been making for others. This is Crypto Warrior. He made his own. I actually think Crypto Warrior did it first a while ago.
Yeah, he did. He's had his for a while.
Yeah.
Bratoshi's been making some crazy art, though.
Dude. Yeah, Bratoshi, if you're listening, dude, make me one. I'm down.
Bro, if somebody, you know, if he makes like a maker or whatever.
I think I saw that someone had a maker.
We'll blast that thing out, man. So
I think someone had a maker.
Yeah, I asked our devs if they could make a PFP maker. They said it was pretty easy, so I'll have to talk to them tomorrow when we talk with them in person to see how difficult it actually is. I thought that would be pretty cool. So you can add having a hustle PFP.
That would be
pretty big signal. And free marketing for the community. Let's see where Hustle's at. Hustle, the token, is at 13 mil. It's got a little bit of a interest over the weekend. I think this is when the USD1 announcement was, and people began to start speculating. Went up, tried to go up again, and then right back down to where we sit today at 13 mil. It's kind of crazy. It's been interesting with the Hustle token specifically, having kind of front row view to watching the volumes of Solana go in and out so fast. It's not like that on ETH, but with the like how fast Solana transactions are, you see these waves come in with like 500,000 to $1 million in trading volume, just happen out of nowhere for like 24 hours, and then it just goes right back down to like the default of like 200K a day. I'm like, wow, it's kind of crazy. The Hustle was all over the place. He was front and center on the Nansen website at one point.
Yeah, that was huge. Yeah.
I think Hustle was the #1 most purchased token by whales, I believe is what it was. And Nansen's like the #1 analytics platform, or maybe one of the top ones. So you can see here, where is it? Oh, Hustle, yeah, Pioneer users. So 100% score here.
Let's go.
Looking at Hustle. So Pioneers, I'm assuming maybe that's like the Nansen like OG users, maybe. I don't really know for certain. But then also if you go one down, it said Smart Money. So this was Smart Money moved 348,000 in the last 48 hours. The top accumulation plays. Hustle, 8 buys and 0 sells. This was 2 days ago on the 31st. Actually, the only reason I found this was that I was looking at the ARA tracker, and I saw that Nansen was like the top performer for the day. And I was like, what the hell? Why is Nansen tweeting about Hustle?
I've literally never seen a Nansen post. Like, so this is kind of new. I mean, I've heard of Nansen, but I never see their posts. So yeah, this is news.
And just all organic, right? No paid marketing, nothing like that. No paid bots or anything like that. Everything's all organic. And I've been hearing some pretty bullish stuff for the Hustle token. So I don't think it's ever been in a better spot than it is at this very moment.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff, say the least. Got some good conversations with the team about the direction of everything for Emblem, which I think is pretty bullish. And we're heading into a pretty prosperous time in crypto. I do think the market's kind of topped out for like a little bit. It seems like buyers are a little kind of tired. exhausted, which is normal. It doesn't go up forever, but I don't think we're going to go into like this crazy ass correction, which a lot of people think. Just I think everyone between the crypto participants and the traditional finance participants just getting all these things thrown at you for the last 2-3 months. People are like, dude, I'm exhausted. I got to see where these treasury companies go. But I do have to say one thing is I listened to a Tom Lee podcast over the weekend. Dude, that guy is a beast.
He's a good.
I could listen to like hours of him just talking. He sounds like your typical like very sophisticated investor who thinks like very deeply about things from the way he like responds to stuff. It's like pretty like articulate, and he responds somewhat slowly, which means he's been thinking about it for a while. So, super bullish on Tom Lee. Yeah.
He's
well, that's why he can raise billions, man. That's why. Right? He's able to convince people, man.
He will go down. This will probably be the best trade of his life. I mean, and he's had some incredible ones, but I'm sure that his size here with the potential multiples that he can do and the position that he has with Bitminer, I assume that this is what he'll go down as in history as being known for, just like Saylor with Bitcoin.
Yep. He had like a good theory or philosophy. I mean, he even goes out on this interview. It's the one with like Mario that him and Mario did. And he goes on and say, like, they ask him why Ethereum and not these other ones. And he's like, well, you know, he's like, if you want fast, you're going to want Solana or Sui. And he's like, and that has its place. But he's like, but if you want 100% uptime and secure and customizability, Wall Street's going to have to choose Ethereum, because when you're moving that much amount of funds, then you need certainty, which means you have to look at the historical context, and the historical context is that Ethereum has 100% uptime. And one thing he actually brought up, which I hadn't really considered, was he said that Wall Street would like to have a little bit more say in things, like the way that Wall Street works, right, with like governance boards for corporations. And he's like, if you're holding a large amount of ETH and you're staking on the network, you essentially can have, you don't have direct voting rights, but you can have some influence on the way that things operate from a governance standpoint, which makes sense. And then he just basically said to build, if you want faster transactions, then you just build an L2, where you just basically get to build out the whole system yourself and maintain the fees, which is what Robinhood is doing. So that is pretty interesting. We'll see how high ETH goes. But one other thing is, he was saying when he was evaluating making an Ethereum treasury company, he said that he went out and he was talking to a bunch of different investors from all different sectors, and some of them in Ethereum as well. And he would ask, are you upset with Ethereum because of the product or because of the price? And he said that every single person said the price. And he was like, oh, well, if the price is what's going to change the narrative, then obviously I could go in and buy a bunch and flip the script. And that's literally what happened.
No, there's literally nothing like the number go up, man. It's literally the only thing that matters at the end of the day. It's so interesting. I listened to a pretty good podcast with Tolly this weekend too. And he was talking about the phone, because the phone came out, which is interesting. Chris, did you get one of these phones?
No.
So supposedly they shipped like 120K of them. And which was stunning to me. And he's saying, look, these are high value consumers, right? Which I don't doubt. Like, yeah, crypto people, if you own a Solana phone, you got some money, right? No doubt. But still, it's 120,000. Like, to go through all that effort for a platform that has only 120,000 users. And this was the stunning thing. He says he spends a third of his time on the phone, meaning a third of his time working on delivering that phone to the market. I was stunned. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. But
he worked at Qualcomm. He worked on mobiles for a long time. That's like where most of his experience actually is. So it's not a reach for him to spend a lot of time on that. I think that's probably where he is the most interested. But also, I mean, better than anyone that the future is mobile. And so it would be bearish if he wasn't spending a third of his time on the future, which is mobile. So
why not just work on an easier way to get it on Android, on any Android?
The whole
Right.
thing is that these legacy companies will not be first movers in crypto, and so you have to make them become movers in crypto. They will never integrate crypto wallets natively in their phones, and so you have to build a crypto native phone that makes a big enough movement to where then they'll build a competing product. That's the only way to get them to move, because they're not innovators and they don't have to innovate. Why would they welcome more competition? So you have to build the competition and force them into it.
Really hard, bro.
Oh,
Really
that's
hard,
interesting
though.
philosophy.
It's really fucking hard.
So a win-win in that situation would be either Seeker gets acquired by one of these larger companies, or they create their own competing project and integrate the Solana wallet directly into it.
Yeah.
So he's looking for either outcome.
Right. It's actually not even for the Seeker. It's to get the an Apple iPhone to have a native crypto wallet, or to have a native Android have a built-in crypto wallet into every single cell phone that they build. And then Solana wins. That, they're not building the Seeker to become the biggest crypto smartphone in the world. Maybe it will be, but you'll never surpass the iPhone at this rate. And so it's a way to force Apple's hand into saying, all right, there's enough crypto users that are such high value users that we need to make a move and build a crypto product. And in turn, there will obviously be a Solana wallet within that makeup. So it's kind of a weird approach. It's like a three-pronged approach, but the goal is not to have the Solana Seeker be the biggest crypto native phone in the world. It's to force other people to build the biggest crypto native phone in the world.
It's interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way, but it does make a lot of sense at the end of the day. See,
but why weren't you a buyer, Chris?
I don't know. I use an iPhone.
I would have bought if it was like easy. Like I probably would have bought one. Just for fun. Yeah.
The thing is, it's like most people bought this one to speculate on, what the rewards will be. And I'm sure that there will be rewards, but they won't be as significant as the first phone's rewards. And I don't know, you're going to buy the first one or you're going to buy none of them. That's kind of how I feel. Buy the best, don't buy like the third beta of the mobile phone and hope for, $10,000 in airdrops for the $3,000 phone or whatever it is. Yeah. But I just wouldn't use it, to be honest. I use an iPhone. I'm happy with my iPhone. I'm a simple guy,
I mean, I just don't know, how is it really much better than me just downloading or buying, $100 Android, right, from Best Buy, and then just using that as my, that's my crypto phone, right? I mean, how is that much better?
It's just that then when you have the native wallet, you can build native crypto apps on the phone, and the way that it can interact from like the browser level or from like the operating service level is it's like ultimately changing the entire structure of the actual phone. Gotcha. And so not only will you have much better security, you'll have much better kind of follow through for all of your apps that are built on top of the crypto wallet. I mean, it's literally using a base level bank account on your crypto phone that can pay whether it's microtransactions or just multi-step transactions or whatever it would be, but it's integrating a new level of like financial transactions within the phone makeup. And I think that that's like really novel. And obviously, if we believe in the long term of crypto, that's what we want. We want crypto to be integrated in basically every aspect of our lives. And the only way to do it is to like literally rebuild the way that phones operate today.
Damn. Let's go. I absolutely love it. We'll wrap it up here today. Migration season is upon us.
Let's go.
Hustle teams continue.
Hustle season is upon us. Hustle season is upon us.
I like it. Hustle season. You know what I was thinking is we need a new intro song. Need a new hustle one. At some point. We've had this for a long time. So if somebody wants.
Sometimes the jazz plays, and I'm like, the hustle. Like the jazz music. Like, all right, we need to pump this up.
Yeah, let's pump it up, man.
Need to get that done. Well, I did have somebody make this. Let's see how this works.
V3 has landed. The agent revolution isn't coming. It's HERE. Time to choose. Join the winning hustle.
Somebody made that for us. That could be the new intro.
I love. It's funny with all of, and I've never heard an AI agent that gets this right. Try to punch in like meme coin and have it say meme coin. They call it meme coin. They can't get meme coin right. These LLMs still have a long way to go.
Long way to go. Until then, everyone, enjoy your Tuesday. We'll be back on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Until then, have a good week.
Later, guys.
Later.